having police on the street does not necessarily solve the problem, even though it can contain the problem. You know, if you have the common cold, right? With the common cold, you have runny nose, you have cough and sneezing. Those things are what you call symptoms of the virus. They're not dealing with the virus. So when you take your medication, the medication does not deal with the virus. Right. It only deals with the symptoms.
Gotcha.
So the police officer, the prison, the courts, and all these things are only dealing with the symptoms. We have to find a way of dealing with the root cause of the problem. The root failure in our society is the educational standard is deficient, the social fabric is void, the moral standard is almost next to nil. So let's get back to the root cause of a society. How do you build a society? A society is built on education.
Education.
Eh? And you educate people. You see, education is not just math and English. You teach people morals. You teach people values. All these behaviors are learned. And a behavior, right? Behavior is a function of the individual and the environment. And the individual and the environment, individual is basically what they believe and who they are. And so if they are not being nourished in the environment, the individual therefore produces behavior that are not satisfactory to that society. So we have to, as a society, be proactive. What we have done essentially is we say, okay, we can get more police officers, we can lock them up, we can hang. Now I support hanging. I support more police on the street. I support dealing with negative behavior. I support punishing negative behavior. But I also understand that that does not solve the problem.
Right.
We have to get to the root problem. You see, when a man is educated, he doesn't have to necessarily steal and rob to go find a couple of dollars for your girlfriend, because he can earn money now because of his educational standing.
Right.
When an individual is educated, it doesn't matter which country he is in, he could operate in the world. But if a man now is uneducated, let's say now we had a D average for the last 15 to 20 years. That's almost 75,000 kids in our society on average with a D average. They come to your office and ask you for a job. You ask them for the resume. D. Would you hire them?
No.
No. But they need to eat. They need to feel appreciated. They need to have a car. They need to have all these things. So what do? They come to your house to find food, your house to find things. And so what we have to do is we have to backtrack. We know we failed, so we have to now open up our school in a system called re-education, retraining. Because there are many people in the society that made mistakes that now realize that, hey, you know, had I taken the time out, I could have been much further. Right. Let me go back now. Right. So schools are empty between 3 and 9 the next morning. Let's use those schools to re-educate people who needs to be re-educated. Then we say, well, where we can find money to do that? Yeah. You know, it's costing us much more now. The average prisoner, it costs us, what, $12,000 an individual per year?
I think it's more than that, actually. Yeah.
$12,000 per year, okay? So it's costing us more now to incarcerate them. Let's use that money to re-educate them so that these individuals now, when they get a job, they're paying taxes. You understand? When they're in Foxhill prison, they're not paying any taxes. They are a tax burden. Yeah. So we have to now think strategically. When you invest in people, the return on your investment is not short-term. It's a long-term investment because your society is healthy, your society is productive, you're collecting tax because these individuals are working. They may also, some of them may go be entrepreneurs, so they may hire more people, and so national insurance get more money. Right. And so you got to understand the ramifications of one productive individual versus one unproductive individual. And so as a society, we have to be strategic in everything we do. Okay. You never ever seen a field where a garden grows randomly. You'll never see that. Huh?
No, I've never.
And so if you want a garden, you'll have to work at it. You have to plant, you have to strategically go out and spend money to buy what you want, your lilies and your chrysanthemums and so on and so on. And then every now and again you see weeds popping up, so you have to go work at it. That's how a society is. If you want this society to be like a garden, a healthy, productive society, you've got to work at it. We can't leave our kids randomly and say, well, let's let the parents deal with it. Obviously, the parents are failing. Then the state should now take action to deal with certain things, making sure that the social systems are fine, making sure that the educational systems are fine. And once we deal with those issues, the crime issue will deal with itself.